Hi, this is David.Rosen, and today I'm going to talk to you about why we need to end the co-op interview process on this edition of If I Was Mayor. So during the coronavirus pandemic, one of the buildings where I do a lot of business, called Southbridge Towers, made a bold move. They ended the co-op interview. And why not? What does the interview really bring to the table? Let me tell you what it's like to buy a co-op in Manhattan or Brooklyn if you don't know. After you've seen a bunch of homes, you make a financial statement, very detailed itemization of all of your money, all of your debt, all of your income. Usually it has also supporting documentation, your bank statements, a loan approval, credit report, and then you go to contract. And the reason why is because they want to make sure you're going to get approved by the co-op board. The managing agent, that's a third party, gives you this application, which is very arcane, to do things like sign your tax returns, even though it's not going to the IRS. Your signature's already on this document 1,000 times. The applications are this thick, if not this thick. And then the building receives your application, then it gets to a board review. The board review is where your neighbors, review this huge application and decide whether they want to interview you, not approve you, interview you. Now, I just want to say that if you're getting a mortgage or you've already done this application and you have to, typically speaking, put at least 20% down on $1 million, that's $200,000, up to 50% down in many of these buildings, half of the purchase price in cash, all to decide whether or not you're going to continuously pay the monthly upkeep, you won't go into foreclosure. Nobody goes into foreclosure. Nobody who's putting 20% down doesn't pay their maintenance. But the financial qualification you provide on its own should be enough to see if that's true. However, that's not what happened. What happens is you got 3 or 4 or 5 people, your neighbors, maybe they like you, maybe they don't, and they review this application. They decide whether or not this person is someone they want coming into their building. And they can deny that person for any reason. But if they think the person might be suitable, they schedule an interview. At the interview, they ask questions, and it's usually a very nice affair. But why do we do this? You can certainly not do it. And it is, don't get us wrong, it is discrimination. It is the essence of discrimination. You're looking at this person, meeting them, deciding if the financial qualification was insufficient based off something you're seeing in their answers. One time we had someone denied who was 8 months pregnant just for calling into the managing agent and asking when their interview was going to be. The board was offended. They thought that was being pushy. It's insane. That leads me to the next subject, which is gamesmanship. Now, this doesn't happen often, but it could easily happen where a seller or a buyer can use this loophole of an interview to break the contract, which shouldn't be allowed. That should be illegal. And if I was mayor, it would be illegal because the seller could go, if he has good relations with the other board members, after he's agreed to sell the home for a certain price. If they believe there's a financial incentive to have the new buyer denied, hypothetically, they could convince the other shareholders to deny the person on any grounds, they're allowed to do that, and basically violate the buyer's rights to purchase the home, which they've committed time, money, and resources to, based on a financial windfall that the seller thinks they can get somewhere else, so they can just sabotage the process. Similarly, if the buyer wants to break the deal, they can sabotage the interview. It's not supposed to be allowed, but all the buyer really has to hypothetically do is claim they were lied to, or claim that some new thing happened within the 2 or 3 weeks between signing the contract and sitting at the interview table. Oh, I didn't know the maintenance was going to go up, and act really upset about it. And that might kill the deal. And then the seller would have to prove they acted in bad faith. And this is the type of tactical stuff that is unnecessary. And it's one of the reasons why you watch all of these videos where I advocate for a better New York in many ways, but specifically in the ways that relate to me in my profession as a real estate broker. I used to live in Phoenix and I was a real estate broker there. And I was telling my friend Roger, it's much harder to sell homes here. He said, yeah, but they go for a lot more money. I said, yeah, but what if every time you sold a house, Roger, you had to get everyone in the homeowners association to agree that they liked the person you sold the home to and that you got enough money for it? He said, are you crazy? Are we crazy? In summary, co-op board interviews are the essence of discrimination. But from a business perspective, they also create a legal loophole which drags out this process. It's totally a waste of time. Nothing good comes of it. And what if the next mayor of New York just ends co-op board interviews, using the financial qualification in the application as sufficient for the sale? Thanks. I'm David Rosen, and this has been another episode of If I Was the Mayor.